Hansen here with Healing Free Dog School. On this video, you're going to learn why we use verbal praise and petting with our training instead of giving our dogs treats all the time. A lot of programs are pretty much treat-based now, and there's a good reason why we don't do that at Healing Free. My first dog got killed by a car. I grew up in an apartment in New York, never had a dog when I was a kid, moved out to Oregon, got my first dog. He made it to 8 months, and on a Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock, he tried running across the street to go visit another dog. I was too stupid to have him on a leash, and he got killed. I felt horrible. What a failure. I had failed my dog. Now, my dogs die of old age, and that's hard. All but 2, I've had to make that decision. Buddy, this is it. This is your last day. And that's hard, but I don't feel guilty because now they die of old age, and that's the way to go. Here are some of the reasons why we don't use treats. First of all, treats are not you. Your hand is you, your mouth is you. You never run out, and they're always with you. Some people will call up and say, my dog knows when I have a treat and he'll mind, and if I don't have one, he doesn't. Well, you don't want your dog thinking that, do you? So what we want to do is we want to get our dogs paying attention to us instead of simply food. The other thing to think about when you're doing this, beside the fact that you never run out of verbal praise, you never run out of petting, is food can be in the wrong place at the wrong time. If somebody drives by your house and tosses a half a cheeseburger out and it's out in the middle of the street, you don't want your dog thinking, well, you have a hot dog, but this is a cheeseburger and I prefer that and I'm going to run out to the street instead of paying attention to you. You want your dog paying attention to you again, not treats. And again, the treats can be in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's this idea of you control the resources and you're the pack leader. Well, if you keep your dog in your house all the time, you could probably do that. But when you take your dog outdoors, you can't do that. You don't know when you're walking around in the park if another dog has gone to the bathroom there, or perhaps there are some cat droppings out there, or again, somebody may have just tossed some food out. You know, they're either having a picnic in the park, they go, oh, well, this is okay, let's throw it out. And your dog is focused on that instead of on you. The other thing to keep in mind, and I think this is really important too, is that food is not always the most important thing to a dog. Some dogs, fear is more important. If a dog is afraid of something, you could be out there slicing up really expensive steak and your dog would be thinking, I'm not going over there for steak because I'm afraid. Fear can be more important than eating. Chasing something can be more important than eating. Dogs think there's a squirrel. Number one, dogs probably think of them as food. Second, the squirrel runs and moves, which adds a second element into it. And the third thing is they make noise. Now, hot dogs don't run and make noise. And so if you're just waving a hot dog, you're probably not going to be coming in first place there. We don't want our dogs chasing a cat or a squirrel or something like that, where the dog thinks, I'm going to go catch some dinner here. And instead of having the dog think, Mom, the person I'm with here called me and I'm supposed to do what they want me to do. The other thing that we want to be careful about is teaching the dog the wrong behavior. Some dogs end up thinking, when you're doing a lot of treat training, they start thinking of you as the vending machine. I had a really funny experience in a class. I was teaching in a gym and I had students on all 4 sides, and I would turn around and face the different directions as I taught the students. And I recall one student with a big Rottweiler, the dog would growl at her, and I turn around quickly and she'd just be standing there like this, and the dog would be sitting there growling. And I thought, well, she's not doing anything. Why is he growling at her? And then I would turn away and look at some of the other students and be helping them, and I hear this brrr, and I think, oh, goodness. I turn around and she'd just be standing there. Well, a couple of weeks later, one of the other students on this side called up and said, Harold, the reason the dog is growling at that woman is because she gives the dog treats, and when he doesn't get a treat, he growls at her. It's kind of like kicking the vending machine. We don't want our dogs controlling us like that. I want a treat. Brrr. Some dogs learn, if I do something wrong and then I stop when you tell me, I get a treat. Is that what you want? Use verbal praise and petting, which is what we do at Healing Free Dog School. Give your dogs treats because you're a nice person, but don't rely on them for those real-life situations where your dog's life could be on the line. Harold Hansen here with Healing Free Dog School. Check my website, healingfree.com, HEELINGFREE.com. Thanks for watching.